Hey guys, good evening once again. This is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFL Inspirations for Your Life. Like I had mentioned you guys before, due to Jersey Central Power and Light, we actually did two shows today because Jersey Central Power and Light decided to just cut power because they had some anomaly. And usually I wait up for that, but several hours went by, and of course they didn't return power, which is why we're doing a second episode today. Memorial Day, May 27, 2024. First, just a bit of gratitude for all of our wonderful men and women that went before us and actually gave their life for us. Really, really grateful for that. This whole week is about embracing the power of stop and start. And whether you're here at 11:16 p.m., 11:16 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 it doesn't really matter what time you're here. By the way, we have a really great guest coming up in about a month. We have a senator coming on from New Jersey. We have Senator Bill Pascrell coming on, and we have some other elected officials coming on later in the month. So we're really hopping. So we're really excited about that. So tonight's granular topic is unleash your potential, mastering the art of stop and start. So first thing we want to do is we want to eliminate distractions. That is the very first thing we want to do. A lot of times we want to do all these great things, but if we don't eliminate distractions, we're going to be stuck with a rock and a hard place. So discovering how to eliminate distractions is not hard. First of all, is there something that is preventing you from doing something? Maybe you're trying to study and there's a TV on, or maybe you're trying to read and there's people running around you, or whatever it is. Just try to be cognizant of that. The other challenge that happens with a lot of people when they're trying to master the art of starting and stopping is they do all these different tasks. Like, right, maybe they want to cook, maybe they want to clean, maybe they want to read a book, maybe they want to jog, maybe they want to wash their face, maybe they want to do something else. Oh, there's a million things, but you got to prioritize your tasks. Same thing in business, right? If you would spend time on what you really need to do, you'll become more successful. And so if, I'm making these phone calls or I'm doing other things, spend time on what matters most. And then you can always do those other things later, but put your energy in the things that matter most. That is the most important thing I want to tell you. And for whatever reason, people just don't do it. So let's learn how to identify and tackle these tasks. Our most significant tasks are the tasks that are going to give us the outcome we want. So for example, if we're in the office, we know that making phone calls does it, or we know that making quotes does it, or we know that doing research on competitors does it. What is it that does it? If it's a relationship, what's the task? Well, maybe we got to spend the task is affection. Maybe the task is, and again, I'm sorry to break it down to just tasks, but everything in life is tasks, and we have to prioritize what is the most important thing. By the way, if you happen to catch my hat, which you might be doing, believe me, achieve.com is where you can catch so much other great information, including my TikTok and lots of other great stuff. So do be sure to like and love that. The next thing I want to move on to you with tonight is embracing the power of saying no. Oh my gosh, this is so incredibly powerful. I can tell you because I've been a victim of this. I always like to be the nice person, always like to do everything for people. And I have been doing that up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago. John would always say yes to people. And we got a thunderstorm going on here, so hopefully I don't lose you guys tonight because who knows what Jersey Central is going to do or somebody's going to knock out. So hopefully we'll still be able to stay with you. So let's say somebody asks you to do something, and normally you want to help them to be kind, and so you might do something as a gesture. So I do a lot of things, as you guys know. Being an engineer, somebody says, "Hey, could you come over? Could you look at my computer?" So I come over and look at it, and it's not just 5 minutes. So they say, "Well, John, what do you charge?" "Well, I normally charge this." "Oh, okay, no problem." And so, well, can you just take a quick look at it? It won't take more than 5 minutes, so you probably won't charge. So, well, if it's 5 minutes, I won't charge you. But then 5 minutes turns into more time, and there's like, well, now they know what you're charging. They're like, "Oh, well, can I just give you a frozen pizza?" And I'm like, really? Seriously? So you have to say no to people. This also happened when I had neighbors like, "Hey, well, John, are you busy?" Yeah, in the middle of doing a show. I was just finishing up doing a show. "Oh, we're really not busy, so you can come down then." It's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I noticed that I was doing this all the time. I was coming down to help somebody, whether it's younger or older person, doesn't matter. And they were abusing me. So I had to learn something really hard, which is that I have to be good to myself, which is learning that I need to say no to people. When you say no to things, you're saying yes to yourself. Let me say that again. When you say no to people or things, you're saying yes to yourself. So many people try to use this, "Oh, well, I guess you really don't want to help. I'd help you." And, it's not a matter of making people feel bad. If somebody makes you feel bad, they're not a friend. Okay. If you have somebody that, let's say, maybe they asked you to do something, or maybe you asked them to do something. And so now you help them do what they're doing. All right. And now you need help. They're like, oh, I'm really busy. And you're not nasty about it. Then they come back and ask you for help again. They're like, hey, every time I ask you for help, you're never available. So why don't you help me with what I need, and then we can work on what you need. And people get a little bit huffy about that. But you got to call people on the carpet. I mean, I'm sorry. You got to call people on the carpet, and you've got to practice saying no. When you say no to people, you are saying yes to yourself. Maybe you're in a relationship. It could be an abusive relationship, and you feel that, well, you just got to keep quiet because you're not going to find anybody else. Well, that's baloney, because there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of people that'll care for you. And don't belittle yourself to think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to find somebody. Yes, you are. You have to realize that you're putting yourself into this state of stopping, right? You can start again. You could find someone else new. You can do what you need to do, and you can start again by saying no. So saying no to someone, like when the person says, hey, John, are you busy right now? Well, to be honest with you, yes, I'm in the middle of something. All right, well, when you're finished, well, I may not be finished tonight. Well, okay, well, whenever you're free. And I just never reach out. Oh, well, John, I never heard from you. Yeah, I know, I've been busy. I really haven't had the time. And you don't have to defend yourself to anybody. You need to be good to yourself. Now, you might say, John, is that being selfish? It is. But if you're always giving yourself to everyone and you're not replenishing your own cup, that could be sleep, that could be monetary things, that could be anything. And so if you don't know how to master the art of stopping, which is stopping people from taking your energy out of you, right? And starting to cap it so you can reserve it. How many times have you been around somebody and they're like, oh, I don't want to do that today. And you're hanging out with your friend, and all of a sudden, they were great hanging out, but then suddenly they just turn sour, and you're like, well, I got this divorce, or I got this kind, and you get it, like, hey, let's talk about it. Oh, I really don't want to talk about it. And we want to go do this. Let's go hang out. Let's go to a movie. Let's go skeet shooting. Let's go bowling. I don't know. And they're like this stick in the mud. You're like, okay, well, if you don't want to do something, it's okay. Maybe we'll just hang another time. Yeah, it's fine. So now you meet again. It's like, don't call me until you're ready to hang out. Like, no rush. They call you in a week again. You meet with them, and they're in the same schmuck again. You're like, hey, look, like, this isn't the dude I want to hang out with. No, I know. It's just a rough time for me. Okay, well, just call me when you're ready. So then they do it again. It's like, look, I get that you have this situation. I know you want to hang around people and you want people to feel sorry for you. I get that. But I don't want to be hanging around you because your negative energy is coming off of me, and I want to stay positive. So with all due respect, I'm going to say I'm out. And I really don't want to hang around with you. If things change, well, maybe we'll try to be friends again, but I'm not interested. And people think, they can't do that. Yes, you can do that. You're not being a bad guy to do that, or a bad lady to do that. You are taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your heart. So many times I talk to people and they're not happy in a relationship because they are not stopping. They're starting, just keep starting, but they never stop doing the things that they shouldn't be doing. Like maybe there's something in the relationship that bothers somebody, right? And they keep like allowing it to happen, and they don't stop it. So if you allow something, ladies and gentlemen, you are an enabler. So I say, well, gee, if I don't say anything, then he or she won't mind, and it'll just go away. No, it won't. You see, you can't just sweep it under the carpet and expect somebody to think it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. You remember what I said about Einstein? Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If you sweep something under the carpet, it hasn't worked in the past. So why would you continue to do it? Well, I just figured it'll work this time. No, it won't work this time. And it's going to make you feel crappy. And at the end of the day, you're going to be like, oh, why did I do that? And then, you're going to be depleted energy. So what happened with me was this gentleman always called me down because he needed things fixed. And he would call me like 8 or 9 o'clock at night as a neighbor. And I'd always go down to help him. And I'm realizing It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 12, 12 to 1. I took away 4 hours from myself. Okay. You might say, well, gee, John, what's the big deal? Well, it's not that it happened one time. I started realizing, this took me a while to figure this out. I started realizing he was doing this like 2-3 nights a week. So 8 hours times 4 weeks, roughly, let's say 50 weeks a year, I was giving him almost 1,400 hours. He said, well, I'll just take you out for a burger. Well, I don't work for free. And so finally, how did I break it off? I basically said to him, hey, I want to help you. And, I don't mind helping you once in a while. And I know you keep calling me all the time, and it's becoming more of a job. Now, if you want to hire me, this is what I get per hour. I'm happy to come down. I'll give you a fair thing. I'll do a good job for you. If I come down in 5 minutes, I won't even charge you. But if I'm going to be there more than 5 minutes, I've got to charge you for my hour. You know what happened when I started doing that? The person never called me again. Now, the person also never says hello to me anymore when I'm outside. But, I don't need friends like that. I don't need people that are going to abuse and use me. And so the power of saying no, ladies and gentlemen, is so vital in your life. People think, well, I can't say no. I've got to do the right thing. Well, no. Doing the right thing is not getting abused. Doing the right thing is not to be leaving yourself felt like a doormat. And I know because I did this for many years, and I'm like, this isn't right. I'm getting abused. But I'm like, I allowed this to happen. I'm an enabler. So if you're in a relationship or you're with a friend or a coworker and they're doing something you don't like, speak up. Hey, Joe, listen, I know you always like to drink your beer. Every time someone drinks their beer and they make that slurpy noise, I don't know, it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not just you doing it, it's anybody. And, if somebody can't respect your boundaries or respect things that bother you, why do you want to hang around them? Like, why? Like, well, because, I don't have anybody else. Yeah, you can find somebody else. You need to start going out and finding somebody. And you say, hey, John, I'm finding the same kind of person. Because you're enabling that person. You find somebody else and they say, hey, I need my help. I don't want to help any new friend that I've met, at least for several months, because I don't know if that friend really is my friend or if they're abusing me. So I've made a policy that I don't help anybody right away. Number one, people come and say, hey, G, I need money. You never help any with money within a year or two. And even then you're careful. Why? I had a friend that I lent money to many, many years ago. I won't give you his name. And he had a challenge getting a job. And so when he was trying to get a job, I spent my spare time to help rewrite his resume. Got him a great job. He used to work at a company that my company that I owned did tech work for. And they let him go because the company business was slow in his department. And so he said, John, you got to help me. So I did. I spent a lot of nights going up and went to his place, which is like 45 minutes from where I live. And yeah, he got me a burger or a sandwich, but that wasn't why I did it. And then I got him on the track to start getting interviews. Well, he got an interview with this company, and he says, oh, John, I can't go. So what do you mean can't go? Well, my car doesn't work. He says, and I can't afford to fix it. It's going to cost like $1,500. I said, where's your car? He said, it's such. I said, well, give me the mechanic's number. So I call the mechanic up. I find out that the car is there. And I said, well, this mechanic's name was Mike. Mike, how much is it going to fix to get my friend's car back up again? Oh, he said, you get it running? I said, yeah, to get it running. He says, like $600, $700, $650 plus tax. I said, oh. I said, well, how do we get $1,500? Oh, that's because your friend wants to put spoilers. He wants to put all this other stuff. He wants to do this. He wants to change the back fender. He wants to change the lights. He wants to change the radio. So, oh, I said, look, I will pay for the muffler order. We need you to get the car running so he can get on his appointments. I call him back and I said, hey, dude, I called the mechanic. I gave him a credit card. So I fix it. You paying the $1,500? No. I'm going to pay him the $650 plus tax because all that other stuff is BS. And when you get a job, you can pay for that if you want. I just want to pay so the car can work. You lied to me, okay? I'm going to cover this, and I just want you to pay this back to me when you can. That's all. So 6 months went by. My recommendation helped him get a job. Never got a thank you. Another 6 months went by, and I said, gee, how's it? Oh, everything's going, doing a lot better. I said, I don't know if you know, I don't know if you remember, I lent you like $700. I was just wondering, maybe you could maybe pay me $50 or $100 back, and we start getting some kind of payment arrangement. Oh yeah, John. Let me just figure out all my finances. I'll get back to you. So that was 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6, 8 weeks. After about 3 months, I said, "Hey, whatever happened with the money you were going to give me some back?" Oh yeah, John. I'll figure this weekend. Okay. And guess what happens? He doesn't get back to me. So next thing I know, he's getting married. Okay. And I wasn't going to bring this up. The marriage was a couple of years later. And I still don't have my money. And I was at his house before the wedding. And I said, I'm not going to go to this wedding. Okay. The person that I was trying to friend, the person I've been friends with for a long time, I laid my olive branch out there to help him and just wanted to pay back what he did, and he never did. So I won't lend people money anymore. Now, people that lend me money, I'll obviously lend them money, and I know that that's a big moment of trust to be able to lay money out there. I know that. And so I want you to understand that starting and stopping happens with you. It happens with your mind. It happens with your makeup of who you believe you are and what you believe you're worth. So I helped this guy come from nothing to getting a job, to getting a top tier job at a publicly traded company. And I never even got a thank you. So I don't say that because I didn't get the thank you. I say that because I should have realized that when I was putting in too much energy and I wasn't getting anything back, I should have said, okay, I can help you do this, but I'm just helping, but then I'm done after that. I didn't do that. I think sometimes we go too far because we're worried that the person won't stay our friend. If they're going to drop us as a friend, well, the heck with them, because that person is just out for themselves. And a lot of times I tell people this right off the bat, look, hey, I know we're just friends. I know we're doing this, and I don't want you to take this personally. I'm going to help you up to a certain point, and then it's up to you to take it from there. See, people will use you and abuse you. Even an elderly gentleman had abused me. I figured, well, be nice to your elders. But they were abusing me too. Even his family was doing that. I had sent them a bill for something. Do you know I didn't get paid for over a year? Or more than that. And when I asked for the money back, I got the money back, and then they never would say hello to me again. See, you don't need people like that. So I have to stop being vulnerable. I have to stop believing that I have to help everyone and do it for free, like my craft, right? So even when I go out and I do consulting for different things, like, hey, this is what I did. I had a guy, just real quick, he was coming to a chamber event. And so this college kid wanted me to go back and meet this this business owner. So I said, okay. And he was really gung-ho about everything. And we sat down, I met him. And all of a sudden, and I won't say what kind of company it is, but he had a service company, different than what I have. And I went out there and, got a bottle of water. I had all these people around the table. And I just planned on doing like, okay, hour. And I told him, I said, your website's terrible. The color of your truck's terrible. I said, just your whole, there's no plan. Well, if you're so smart, you should tell me so. So then it was like he was attacking me. I plugged in my laptop. I started showing him some things. And I honestly believed I was proving, but why did I do that? I should have just walked out. This was a couple years ago. And what I found after I left, he said he's going to think about it. All the things I gave, maybe 18, 20 ideas. I got home, did a podcast. At the end of the podcast, I was talking to one of my team members. He said, John, how'd the meeting go? I said, well, okay. I said, he's not looking to spend right now. Did you give me any ideas? I said, yeah. So he says, what did you tell him? And I gave him some ideas. And he goes, you might want to check out their website. I said, what do you mean? Well, I don't want to tell you this. Why don't you look for yourself? And I'm like, holy. He implemented like 15 of my ideas. One of them was to change the image of the background. One was to change the thing. Like they had this red carpet for their industry, but they weren't even a carpeting company or a movie industry. They were something totally different. Then I said to him, well, you should take all your things, you can put them into blogs and make them as answers. He did that as well. They did all this within 2 hours. And then he calls me back after the holidays and says, hey, John, we want to meet again. I said, yeah, I'll be happy to meet you. I said, you owe me a check for X dollars. You stole my ideas, and I'm not giving you any more time. And he wanted to meet again for free. I'm like, no. So you have to realize that you are worth a lot. And unfortunately, there are some bad actors. And when I say bad actors, I don't just mean people that steal your information, like, credit and things like that. They steal the goodness that you have. They have no intention of paying. So you've really got to make sure you do a barometer test. And what I learned is that when you go out there and you set for maybe 30 minutes, you don't start getting into all this stuff. Maybe you look at one point, and I said, hey, gee, the color is this. And I should have just shut up. But I was trying to prove. Why did I need to prove? I don't need to prove. If you've got to prove your worth to somebody, you don't need them. Because chances are they're going to take your ideas and go somewhere else. Are they supposed to do that? No. Was it wrong what he did? Yeah. Could he at least have told me, hey, John, I like what you did. There's a lot of great ideas. I want to give you something for your time today. Didn't do that. And then when I told him things about the truck, he said, well, that's a lot of money. I got this big company in Beverly Hills, California. I was paying a lot of money. I said, well, they obviously just keep taking your money every month. And he thought I was just going to lay down and keep giving him information. So what I learned from a couple of years ago is don't do that anymore. Don't do free consulting. Well, John, you got to give an estimate. Yeah, you give an estimate and you walk out. Or I understand you're having this challenge or you're having this issue with the marketing. Great, I get it. Well, how would you handle it? Well, hire us and we'll give you a proposal. There's some ideas we have. That's it. You don't need to prove your worth to someone. If you feel you got to prove yourself to a business, to a friend, to a relationship, you're done. You are done. All right. So the last thing I want to share with you tonight is to develop a morning routine. This is very, very key. The morning routine, I like to start off with a John's attitude of gratitude, alphabet of gratitude, where we've talked about using the letters of the alphabet and feeling each letter with 2 or 3 things you're grateful for. Like the one I love is A. I'm so grateful for the abundance of everything around me. It could be air, it could be money, it can be health. Feel that abundance in your heart. I'm so happy and grateful. Let's take another letter, B, for the birds that chirp every morning. I'm so happy and grateful for the beautiful view I get to look at every morning. So realize that the potential of mastering the art of start and stop is with your intention. And if somebody tries to make you do something, such as start, such as stop, look at it and say, okay, gee, where's it coming from? Do they have my best interest in mind? Like, hey, John, you really should stop that. I had a gentleman try to do this to me about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I won't give you where it was, but he tried to do this. Welcome, everyone. And this guy wanted to have me stop doing something. It was a website. I bought a domain. He said, well, you can't do that. That's close to my name. I said, well, he says, I have that company. I said, well, okay. And I looked online, and I saw he didn't have that company. He BS'd me. I went online. I filed for that company literally 11 o'clock at night, and I blocked him. So he was trying to block me because he was trying to threaten me because I was going to take steps that he didn't take. See, that's not my fault. And so he was trying to stop me, but I said, hey, wait a minute. Don't stop, John. Research if this guy's full of it. Research if he is just throwing you a clown. And he was. It's like, oh my gosh. The domain name's free. I got it. The company is available. I registered in New Jersey, and I'm good. And I think when you call people on the carpet, they do 1 or 2 things. They either A, apologize and say, hey, you know what, I was wrong. Or B, they back down, right, like that. Or C, they just go away because they're embarrassed with what they did. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got to tell you, I'm very grateful that Bill Pascrell, Senator Pascrell, will actually be on our show next month. I'm not sure the exact date. And we have some other people coming out as well. And we want to get the views of these different things from senators, other people. I want to learn from them, what is it that makes them successful? And that's a new part of the show that we're going to be rolling out this summer. We're going to be talking to different people. What makes success in your life? And I got to tell you that success for everyone is different. But one thing I can tell you from Einstein is if we do the same thing over and over again and we expect different results, that's insanity. If we do the same thing over and over again and it gives us the results we want, that's great. But if we ever expect different results, that is insanity. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I do want to take this moment to thank everyone that has served our country. And what I would like to do is to recognize one of the heroes who has given his life during the war. And I want to go ahead and recognize a Civil War hero of my town, Franklin Lakes. His name is Gilliam Van Houten. He was born August 13, 1819. He died May 6, 1863. And as it says, as we celebrate the 150th anniversary of the American Civil War, we must take a pause to reflect on the true cost and sacrifice that was made and given. This war torched all who were living in America at the time. It divided states, towns, and families. Franklin Lakes was no exception. And this is the story of the Civil War hero right from the town. Gilliam Van Houten was born on the family farm in what was to become Franklin Lakes, August 30th, 1819. He remained on the farm until his early 20s. He then moved into Hudson City, later formed into Jersey City Heights. In the late 1840s, he opened a corporate, a barrel-making operation in New York City. This led to an interest in the New York militia, but he was also involved in civil affairs. He did terms as the director of Hudson County Board of Freeholders, Hoboken Alderman, Hudson City Alderman, and the president of the Hudson City Board of Education. When the war was declared, Gilliam started to mobilize the Hudson Bridge to the march to Trenton. At Trenton, he continued the troops by training as they prepared for action in the South. When they left, he did not go with them. He returned to Hudson County to recruit, organize, and train troops that would become the 1st Jersey Brigade. He then returned to civilian life, but his devotion to the Union and his contributions did not go unnoticed. In August 1862, Gilliam Van Houten was back in Trenton with the rank of colonel and in command of the 21st New Jersey Volunteer Infantry. This unit was the first of the 9-month state militia regiments formed in response to President Lincoln's order for 300,000 troops. This regiment was part of the 3rd Brigade and the 2nd Division of the VI Corps. The 21st participated in the Battle of the Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, and Franklin's Crossing. They also were part on the Major General Burnside's infamous Mud March, and this was a disastrous attempt at the winter offense. The plan behind this was to outflank the army of General Robert E. Lee and cut off his supply lines, and this offensive started January 20th, 1863. Given the unseasonal weather and the driving rain, it was doomed from the start. The rain turned the unpaved dirt roads into the knee-deep mud causeways. After 2 days, Burnside recalled his troops. On May 3rd, 1863, the VI Corps successfully assaulted Marye's Heights, then withdrew to the area surrounding Salem Heights. On May 4th, the attack on Salem Heights began. The 3rd Brigade, under the command of Brigadier General Thomas Neal, attacked the Confederate brigades of Hoke Hayes, Gorin, and Smith. Under the heavy fire, the 3rd Brigade moved forward. After advancing 100 yards, the 3rd Brigade opened fire. This brought additional Confederate fire from their front, rear, and right flank. This caused the 20th New York Volunteer Infantry on the right flank of the 21st NJVI to break ranks and run to the rear. On the left flank of the 21st was the 33rd New York. They made a controlled retreat to the rear. This left the 21st alone. Now, there's a lot more, but after the war, the men of the 21st gave money to construct a 9-foot memorial monument to the fallen colonel. The monument depicts the VI Corps Greek cross, and the inscription reads, Gilliam Van Houten, Colonel, 21st New Jersey Volunteer Infantry, wounded at the Battle of Chancellorsville, Virginia, May 4th, and taken prisoner by the rebels and died May 6, 1863. 43 years, 5 months, 13 days. This memorial can still be seen in the Van Houten Cemetery at 108 Delaware Lane, High Mountain Estates, 778 V Drive, Sycamac Road. No higher tribute can be paid to a commander by his troops or a country that he loved and defended. On this anniversary, we must take time to reflect on what was given up and lost so we can live free. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take this moment to really thank everyone and be very grateful for everyone that has been able to fight for me and all the people I love, friends and colleagues, and everyone I know for allowing us to have our freedom. I know it's the kickoff of Memorial Day. I know it's the kickoff of summer, but I would encourage you to do something that a good friend of mine, his name is Sergeant Blum from the Franklin Lakes Police Department, encouraged me to do, and he encouraged a lot of other people to do. So the best way to celebrate Memorial Day was to find someone local in the town or close, read up about them, learn about them, share it with your family before your meal, and just take a moment to give gratitude. Now, on the air, we're not silent because that's not a good thing to do, but I do want to let you know that I am very grateful to every man and women that fought for me and my family. And I want to give tribute right now to Colonel Gillian Van Houten for being on the front lines for us, for helping us, and for literally fighting for our country. I know that if Colonel Van Houten was alive right now, he would be happy for the things that we do. And I know one of the things I do, and hopefully this would make them happy, is I'm very involved in my community. So if you want to give praise, give thanks, do what I said, which was research somebody. The second thing is get involved in your community. Build a community that these people, if they were alive today, would say, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that I chose to give my life for the community that came after me. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have an amazing evening, and I hope you remember that embracing the power of stop and start starts with this: unleashing your potential, master of the art and stop and start. Eliminate distractions, prioritize high-impact tasks. That even means, by the way, turning off your cell phones, putting them on vibe, right? Embrace the power of saying no. Say no, and when you do it, you don't have to be nasty. You can just say, I'm busy. I would like to. I've got something else I'm working on. And if somebody challenges you, say, hey, look, I got my own things to do. But somebody shouldn't challenge you. All right, guys, have yourself a fantastic evening, and I'm going to catch you tomorrow, all right? Thank you so much for watching Inspirations for Your Life, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on another great show. If you'd like to catch our shows in between, just go to believemeachieve.com and check out all my great creations, and definitely message me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And again, big hats off to Colonel Gillian Van Houten and all the many fallen heroes that have gone before me so that I can have my freedom today. Have a great night, everyone, and happy Memorial.